Lawmakers barrel into week 4 of the government shutdown. Still no end in sight as shutdown fatigue is really hitting Capitol Hill and fear intensifies among federal workers who are not getting paid. We're watching closely as the Senate holds a vote today to pay those workers. Let's bring in Republican Congressman Mark Harris of North Carolina, member of the House Judiciary Committee. Great to see you this morning, Congressman. What are you hearing from your colleagues on the Hill? Does this shutdown end anytime soon?
Hey, Charlotte, well, thank you so much for having me this morning. Boy, that's the question of the hour. When will it end? And we are not seeing at this point any movement by the Democrats to stop this silliness that's going on. I mean, you reported it. Here we are, day 22. We did our work in the U.S. House on September 19th by passing the clean CR and sent it over to the Senate. And now they have voted, I believe the number is 12 times, I almost lose count, rejecting that clean CR, which would have allowed us to be able to pass more appropriation bills to November 21st. That was the date. There were no tricks, there were no add-ons, there was nothing. It was just simply a clean CR to November 21st, which would allow us to move more appropriation bills. But they're playing politics, and we're calling it the politics of pain. And the American people are the victims here. And while they're playing these politics, we're seeing people from our military that, thank the Lord, the president instructed Secretary Hegseth just a couple of weeks ago to make sure that we paid on the 15th of the month. But here we are now coming toward the end of the month. And all of these federal workers, they're at risk. And not to mention the people with WIC. I'm told that next month, SNAP will run out of money. So the poorest in our country are about to become the victims of Schumer's shutdown and the pure politics that they're playing right now.
Yeah, you mentioned the American people are the ones feeling the pain, and Democrats now saying the quiet part out loud. Your colleague in the House, Democratic Whip Katherine Clark, called the shutdown, quote, leverage in a recent interview, while saying, yes, people will suffer. White House Press Secretary Karoline Leavitt with this response, putting out on X, the Democrats are now admitting that they are intentionally causing American families to suffer with their reckless government shutdown. What is wrong with them? Your reaction, Congressman?
Well, I think Caroline's exactly right. And I think her statement is point on. And I think that when we really stop and look at the Democrats, we have got to recognize that they just got tired of Donald Trump winning. When you stop and see what this administration has been able to do in these first 9 months, 10 months, obviously we've been able to pass the One Big Beautiful Bill, the Working Families Tax Cut. That was monumental in our history. We were also able to roll back regulations that have taken place. We're able to do things that have needed to get our economy moving again. The president was having win after win, and they're just looking for any way they can to try to throw a wrench in it. But I believe the American people are smart enough to see it. I think the American people are going to bring a backlash to the Democrats for the action that they're taking. And listen, elections matter. And we've now had a majority of folks, when you look about it, bipartisan. We had a Democrat that supported in the House. There have been several Democrats that have crossed over and supported it in the Senate. And so we've had a majority. And they're using this leverage, as the Congresswoman said, to inflict pain on the American people. And it's ridiculous. And I pray that they come to their senses sooner rather than later.
Yeah, I think a lot of us do. And some Republicans, including Senator Tommy Tuberville and Congressman Jeff Van Drew, saying that the president should now be more involved in creating a solution to this funding fight. But as it stands, this fight, really, it's just in the Senate. Is there anything that the president can or should do right now?
Well, there's really nothing to be done. How many times have we said it? And we've had to say it over and over again because it's just the facts. A clean CR that, of course, the Democrats had supported 13 times previously that would go and just allow us to move the date to November 21st so we could move appropriation bills. There's nothing to negotiate here. And the Democrats have got to just come to their senses that they can no longer hold the American people hostage. We promised that if they want to talk about these ACA subsidies, they're going to be talked about. Yeah. We're going to take them up as we should in the Congress. But it's not something that we need to negotiate while they hold the American people hostage.
All right, Congressman Mark Harris, we have to leave it there. Thank you so much for taking the time this morning.
Thank you for having me, Shona.